After speaking to the local news outlets, this resident revealed that she had a strange encounter at night. She woke up to loud rumblings in her kitchen and found this odd-looking animal. It seemed bat-like in features, but something about it seemed off. Then she learned what it actually was. Before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. June woke up with a jolt. A loud thud echoed through her house, followed by a strange rustling sound. Then she heard her dog, Bill, barking downstairs, sharp, frantic barks. Unlike his usual sleepy grumbles, something was wrong. June swung her legs off the bed, her pulse quickening. Another noise came, a scraping sound, then another thud. It was coming from the living room. Someone or something was down there. With shaky hands, she pushed the covers aside and stood up. The wooden floor was cold beneath her feet. Slowly, she crept towards the stairs that would lead June to the base floor of her house. Bill's barking grew louder as she ascended. "What's wrong, buddy?" she whispered to herself as she drew closer. The sight that met her at the bottom of the stairs made her freeze. June's kitchen was a disaster. Boxes of cereal lay torn open, their contents strewn across the floor. What had happened here? June stepped forward cautiously, scanning the room for any sign of movement. There were no broken windows, and the door was still locked. There was no sign of an intruder, just the mess. She turned her attention to her dog. Bill sat curled up in the corner of his basket, his body shaking violently. His tiny paws dug into the blanket beneath him. He was terrified, more terrified than she had ever seen him before. But why? But there was nothing, no intruder, no explanation, just the eerie silence of the house around her. June hesitated before standing up and walking back toward the kitchen mess. She grabbed the broom and started sweeping up the scattered cereal. Something about this didn't add up at all. As she cleaned, she kept glancing at Bill. Whatever had scared him, it wasn't gone. She just knew it. Bill refused to come anywhere near the kitchen. She grabbed Bill's collar and pulled him to the kitchen, where a distinct clue became instantly clear. Bill resisted, but June was much stronger than her frightened dog. June watched his gaze, and when she passed the pantry on the right, she noticed that Bill's focus shifted. So whoever did this was in the pantry? June released Bill since she had already tortured his frightened soul enough. "I'm sorry, buddy," she said before stepping toward the pantry door. June's hand trembled as she reached for the pantry door. It creaked open, revealing shelves filled with cans, jars, and bags. But nestled in the corner, barely visible in the dim light, was a creature unlike anything she had ever seen. Her breath caught in her throat, with leathery wings folded tightly against its body. The creature froze, just as startled as June, its small chest rising and falling rapidly. Bill let out a low, guttural growl from the kitchen doorway. The sound made the creature flinch, pressing itself further into the corner. June's heart raced as she tried to process what she was looking at. It sort of looked like a large bat, but it clearly wasn't one either. The creature suddenly unfurled its wings, revealing their impressive span. It let out a high-pitched screech that echoed through the pantry, sending chills down June's spine. She instinctively stepped back, nearly bumping into the shelves behind her. The animal skidded past June and raced through the kitchen, searching for a way out. Finding none, it curled up tightly in a corner. June glanced at him and told him to stop, her voice trembling. June forced herself to breathe calmly. She crouched slowly, careful not to startle the creature further. Keeping low, June moved toward the corner. The creature's trembling lessened. It remained still as she reached out and gently touched the top of its head. It flinched once more, then froze, accepting the contact. Its skin was warm and smooth, not scaly as she'd imagined. Its glossy eyes blinked at her, and its wings relaxed slightly. June whispered in awe, the earlier fear fading as curiosity took over. She continued gently stroking its head. The creature didn't pull away, its tense body softening bit by bit. Its wings stayed tucked, but it no longer appeared afraid. As her hand pulled away, the creature inched forward, drawn to her presence. June stood slowly, moving gently. To her astonishment, the creature followed, its small wings dragging behind like those of a baby animal. Bill gave a soft whine. The creature tilted its head and approached slowly. June held her breath, but the dog's tail wagged more freely now. Easing the tension, the bat-like creature crept closer to Bill. The dog sniffed it and gave a hesitant lick. This time, the creature didn't flinch. It remained still, accepting the gesture. June decided to keep the creature nearby. "Come on," she said softly, and to her amazement, it followed as she walked upstairs. Bill trotted after them, his tail now wagging steadily. Once upstairs, the creature explored briefly before curling up in a corner, its wings wrapped protectively around its body. "You'll stay here for now," June murmured. As dawn's light slipped through the curtains, June sat on her bed, watching the creature sleep. When it stirred and looked at her, wings fluttering, she smiled. "Hungry, huh?" she asked. "Let's figure out what you eat." June brought out a variety of foods to test. She began with dog kibble, but the creature turned away and cleared distaste. Slices of bread and cheese were also ignored. When it looked up at her afterward, its large eyes sparkled with what felt like gratitude. She offered a banana next, which it also ate, albeit less enthusiastically. Bill sat nearby, calm and curious. June sat on the floor beside them, studying the animal. It was time for a name something simple that suited its gentle, mysterious nature. "Coco," she whispered. The creature tilted its head at the sound, then resumed eating. The name felt right. June smiled, surprised at the bond already forming between them. It was nearly 10 a.m., late enough for her vet's office to be open. Maybe they could provide answers. She called and explained the bizarre events of the night before. The receptionist was confused but intrigued and offered a slot in 30 minutes. June agreed and gently placed Coco into a blanket-lined pet carrier. Bill whined as she grabbed her keys. "I'll be back soon," she said, giving him a pat before heading out. The vet clinic was quiet. June walked in, clutching the carrier. Dr. Harris, the local veterinarian, greeted her warmly and led her into the exam room. June hesitated, then placed the carrier on the table and unzipped it. Coco peeked out, blinking in the light. Dr. Harris's expression shifted from welcoming to stunned. Dr. Harris donned gloves and moved in slowly. "She looks like a bat, but larger, and her face is almost canine," he said, puzzled. Coco sniffed his fingers but didn't retreat. After a careful check, he confirmed Coco was female and appeared healthy, though her size and features didn't match any bat species he'd encountered. He flipped through an animal reference book. "Flying foxes are tropical and don't have this fur texture or facial shape," he said. Coco watched him with unsettling awareness. "She's incredibly calm," he noted. "Most wild creatures would panic here." Coco stayed composed as he examined her further, suggesting a surprising level of domestication. Her teeth and claws added to the mystery. While her teeth aligned with a fruit-based diet, her claws were much stronger, more like those of a climber. The vet jotted notes, visibly baffled. Coco shifted closer to June as the vet stepped back, wings folding neatly around her. "She's clearly attached to you," Dr. Harris noted. "That kind of trust doesn't happen overnight. Whatever her origins, she sees you as her caretaker." He sighed, removing his gloves. "She could be a rare hybrid or mutation, but her features don't match anything I've seen." "I've never encountered anything like Coco," he said. "You might want to speak with someone who specializes in exotic wildlife." "Doctor," Harris mentioned a nearby wildlife reserve and its owner, someone who might have more insight. June left with directions, her thoughts filled with questions. The road led through dense forest until June reached the secluded reserve. A woman greeted her at the entrance. "You must be June. I'm Abigail," she said warmly. "Our mutual friend told me you were coming, and this must be Coco." When Abigail looked into the carrier, her expression shifted. June immediately noticed. "You've seen one like her before, haven't you?" Abigail nodded but said nothing. "Come with me," she said, motioning toward the facility. Abigail led her past enclosures and research stations until they stopped before a glass-paneled door. She opened it, and June stepped into a different world. Inside was a massive dome, warm and humid, filled with towering trees and a glistening pond. It resembled a tropical forest more than a reserve. "This habitat mimics jungle conditions," Abigail explained. "Some species need this level of care." She raised 2 fingers to her mouth and whistled sharply. June jumped at the sudden sound. "What are you doing?" she asked, but Abigail just smiled and pointed upward. The canopy above rustled. A shadow moved across the treetops. Then came the soft beat of wings. June's heart pounded. A creature emerged, gliding down and landing softly on Abigail's shoulder. June stared in shock, the same leathery wings, large eyes, and unique mammal-bat blend. "You mean there's another?" she asked. Abigail nodded, stroking the creature's head. "This is Mako. We've studied him for years. Until now, we thought he was one of a kind." Coco peered out at Mako. The resemblance was striking. "So, they're the same species?" June asked. "Likely," Abigail replied. "Coco might hold the answers we've been seeking." Abigail's team began non-invasive tests on both creatures, examining features, collecting gentle samples, and observing their behavior. The similarities were undeniable. Weeks later, DNA results confirmed they were siblings. "Same nest," Abigail said. "Coco must have wandered off as a baby and ended up in a suburban pantry by accident." June was astonished. "How did she even survive?" Abigail shrugged. "We may never know. But she found you, and now she's back with her family." Despite the connection between Coco and Mako, Coco remained hesitant around her brother at first. Abigail reassured June, explaining it was normal after so much time apart. Still, Coco often stayed close to June, clearly comforted by her presence. June knew the sanctuary was the best place for Coco. "She belongs here with her brother," she said, voice breaking. Abigail agreed. "You'll always be welcome here, June. You're part of her story." In the weeks that followed, the sanctuary documented fascinating behaviors, complex calls, clear intelligence, and an evolving sibling bond. Abigail shared updates regularly, which June eagerly followed. True to her word, June visited often. Each time, Coco greeted her warmly, nuzzling her affectionately. "She hasn't forgotten you," Abigail said. "She sees you as family."